This is Ready, Set Reiki, a podcast about Reiki and all energy work, from the curious beginner to the seasoned master teacher, welcoming all systems, all lineages, all levels. Reiki is a journey and not a destination. And on this Ready, Set Reiki journey, I refer to myself as a guide rather than host, as I too am traveling, learning, and supporting others on this Reiki journey as well. And with that said, I am your guide, Tracy Seawright, and this is Ready, Set Reiki. Hello, Reiki family. Reiki blessings to you, one and all, and another amazing and wonderful journey today. But before we begin, I'd like to tell you about a special place on Facebook, and that is the Reiki Business Collective. Here is where we share, support, and serve. Christian Stone does a wonderful job at bringing together individuals. I want you to know that on this journey, this Reiki journey or energy work journey, that you are never alone. There are places and people to help you along the way. And this happens to be one of the places, and it costs $0 to be a part of this group. So come on and connect. No matter where you are on your journey, maybe you're not even thinking of having a Reiki business, but you can surely come on, share, and help, and observe as well. Your opinions and your work is appreciated. So check it out, Reiki Business Collective. I also like to tell you about the 31st annual ICRT International Reiki Retreat, and that's the International Center of Reiki Training. This is September 4th to the 7th, 2026 in Sedona. And here, if you sign up, you get a beautiful sound bowl sent to you. So mine came, and I was so taken back about the quality of this sound bowl. You can check information out at the International Center of Reiki or reiki.org. Now, back to our journey. Sometimes on a journey, you see something, right? You stop somewhere on the journey, and it's just so fantastic. You have to go back and check it out again. And that's with our next guest. Our next guest was already on the podcast, but hey, guess what? It's time for him to come again. And here with the segment that I have of what are you doing now? So let me reintroduce you to Dave Lorson, now AKA Reiki Dave. Now, he is a practitioner with a passion for helping others to reconnect themselves on a very deeper level. Now, his journey with Reiki began during a time when he was seeking balance and clarity in his own life. The experience opened his eyes to an incredible power of energy healing, how it can calm the mind and ease the body and awaken a sense of peace within. And today he shares this same sense of healing and calm with others. In his session, his goal is to create a peaceful space where you can let go of stress and release that no longer serves you, and realign with your natural flow of energy. So let's get a warm Ready, Set Reiki welcome to Reiki Dave.
Hello, sending you all beautiful Reiki energy. How are you doing?
Beautiful. Well, welcome back to Ready, Set Reiki. And like I said in the beginning, sometimes on the journey, something so special, you got to go back and check it out again. So here we are to connect again. And so tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I am a Reiki Dave now. I kind of feel like that's kind of a nice little twist, I guess. But anyways, I've been doing Reiki now. I studied Reiki about 3 years ago, but I started to transition from my marketing business to Reiki and trying to do it full time beginning about September. I think we last talked in October, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot has changed. I'm still doing marketing, of course, but Reiki is really taking off, connecting with a lot of really cool people, meeting with a lot of groups. And I'm in Oshawa, near Toronto, Canada, near Port Perry, and that's where I sort of live right now. And unfortunately, I had a studio in Port Perry. I had to give it up because it's such a small town and not many people are doing or understand what Reiki is. Which is fine, because now what I've done is I've learned how to do distant Reiki. And I think when we last talked, I was sort of kind of like testing out the waters with that. And what I feel so confident now. I gave away sort of free sessions, group sessions, every week or something like that. And the reason why I did that is to make myself learn a little bit more about distant Reiki, learn how to connect with people, and just practice it, because I wasn't going to offer up like a payment for something I wasn't comfortable of providing. It has been incredible. I have so much confidence in doing distant Reiki. And I've been treating a lot of people. I've diagnosed things. I love it. I feel like so much cool energy. It's amazing. So that is a really brand new part of my new experience. And I'm so happy to have had that opportunity to get to that point.
Beautiful. I love that for you. And here's the interesting thing with Reiki. If you are open to it, it begins to make shifts and changes in your life. So that's why, bringing back practitioners and master teachers on the journey to explain how Reiki has in a way changed their lives in even
Yeah,
a very short period of time. But things kind of tend to fall away. So even, releasing your studio
yeah,
was part of the process to help elevate you to
right.
what your true purpose is.
Yeah,
And, it seems that in the world right now, it's kind of split a little bit. You have traditionalists who say, absolutely not, you can't do online learning, you can't do online remote, all of these things, and then others like yourself and I, if that's where the healing needs to be and you have to connect with someone in their very own home for comfort, then so be it.
yeah.
So, things are shifting and changing, and you're embracing that and you're welcoming that as an opportunity. So even in that short period of time, magical and amazing things happen if you just follow the energy.
And keep going, because I found myself like, what is that, 6 months ish kind of thing. It's not a lot of time if you think about it to really, when you're starting a business. A lot of people I've talked to are like, oh, give it a year or 2 years.
Yeah.
So I'm like one of those people that like, I want it to flourish now.
Yeah.
What I've learned through my own practice for my own self in Reiki is to still the mind. Losing the studio, it wasn't losing the studio. I just realized it wasn't feasible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I want to do now as a result is to be more of an ambassador for Reiki, because what I'm finding, and a lot of practitioners feel this way, and they, like everybody who I talk to has the same problem. When they promote themselves and promote Reiki, no one knows what it is.
Mhm.
So it's interesting because what's happening in May, I've decided as being an ambassador is to try to create some kind of marketing platform to get people interested in Reiki. And then sort of that hopefully will fall into not only myself, but other people, and get people more interested in it. So I came up with this idea called Reiki May. And that's throughout the month of May. So far, it's on the Facebook group page. That's where I started. It'll probably go into TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, but for now, it's on. So if you want to go to Facebook pages and just type in Reiki May, he'll pop up there. And please join, because it's going to be great. May is also the month for mental health and awareness, which is a great tie-in, because Reiki is an incredible thing for mental health and awareness. And I've been treating. Actually, I've got some steady clients, which is great, and helping them. Some of them are really, they really need a lot of help,
Mhm.
and they're on a lot of medication. And what happens is, after we do a session, I'm just doing it online. There's no medication, there's no nothing, and they feel so relaxed. And just they did even tell me, they go, "Why do what when you do what you do, you make me feel so happy and relaxed, and I can go sleep, right?" So that inspires me. That makes me happy to make other people happy. So yeah, the Reiki May should be an interesting thing, and I'm looking forward to do. I'll probably be doing like little video clips of like breathing exercises and how to sage and all these little tiny things throughout the month. And I'm looking forward to that. A lot of work though.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you have been up to a whole lot. So that's why, what are you up to now, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. So that's what I'm kind of focusing on. Like I said, I've been marketing myself as a Reiki practitioner, and you go into the world of like Facebook and stuff like that, and I've done extensive marketing strategies. Try this, try that, and that's okay. Just keep doing it every day and don't get frustrated. And some people land on it, whatever. But I'm finding too that when I meet people, so if I'm going around the city, I've had like two. Well, I have more than two, but I had this one. So I'm near a native uh, area, so it's like a reserve, if you will. So I go to the store, it's this gas station and stuff, and I met this beautiful wonderful native woman, and we were just talking about Reiki, and all of a sudden we had this connection. My body went into some kind of really interesting beam of energy and light and feeling, and she had the same thing too, right? And then so we kind of left, and she's like, I've never had that experience before. I go back about 3 weeks later, and she tells me, she goes, she goes, oh, I'm so glad I met you again. Because she goes, for 2 days, I've had this wonderful, like incredible energy coming through me pretty much for 2 days. And so what she did was she makes these beautiful feathers with tassels and stuff on it. I use these with my clients. She just gave them to me because she goes, I really appreciated your help and whatever you did. And she's like, this is my gift for you. And I was like, that's better than money, you know? So that's really cool. I love interacting with people, and I think that helps too. So they get to sense your energy.
Beautiful, beautiful. And that's because you're making this as a lifestyle. The
Yes.
more you use it, and then it's almost like uncovering your superpowers, right? It's like, oh,
Right.
where did this come from, right? Like, but it's something you probably always had, but that culturally created self, you being in the field that you were in prior, right? And kind of suppress that. And so now
Yeah.
it's coming forward. It's like I can come out of hibernation.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're in the marketing, like I'm in the marketing industry, and it's very stressful, to be honest. And what I've discovered is that, going into the Reiki and hopefully going into it more full time, there's so much more relaxation, and you own it. Like, for most people, when I'm doing company like work for other companies, you're always being judged, or, there's always feedback, and you just don't feel like you're doing great things. I mean, you are, but when
Yeah.
you do Reiki, it's like the overwhelming response and gratitude from people just makes my life so much like better. I just feel so good from it. So there's a win-win, I guess, when I do it. Yeah.
So what has surprised you about Reiki with working with this energy?
So I have an interesting story. So unfortunately, my dad passed away in December, but fortunately, we were there when he was passing. So I did this Reiki. So my whole family is there. My brother, he's kind of skeptical at what I do, but that's okay. But my intuition, because I brought all my little things and rocks and feathers and stuff, and so my intuition is something guided me because I have so many rocks to choose from. So something told me, get this pyrite stone. It's a rainbow color stone, right? So I placed that on top of my dad after he passed. And I did my little Reiki ceremony, which I always do. And then after that, something told me, use the hawk. I found this hawk feather up near the trailer, which I think is beautiful because I found it. It wasn't like something I bought. So I use that, and I do sometimes with my clients, I wave the feather over top of them just to kind of help them with their energy and stuff. So interesting story. That same day, we're traveling from Toronto back to Oshawa. I see a rainbow colored cloud. I've never seen a rainbow cloud before. I've seen rainbows, but not a rainbow cloud. And I see it way, way up there, like not even like close to the ground, really far up. And it's just right over top of our place just before we got home. And I thought, that's interesting because we had the rainbow rock, the pyrite. And then because I used the hawk feather, as soon as I got home and my brother and his girlfriend got home, they said, and they were like excited. They're like, you won't believe what happened. And I'm like, what? There was a hawk sitting outside their backyard staring at them for about 15 minutes. She goes, I've never seen this hawk before in my life. And I'm sitting there going, two very specific things that I used on him, exactly same time during the day. And I was like, and my brother went like, okay, maybe there is something to this Reiki thing. I was so happy, just happy that I could, it almost felt like he was really, truly saying something to us. So that was an incredible moment.
How beautiful. And I'm so sorry for your loss. I mean, losing a parent, it's life-changing, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But I feel better because I know he's, sometimes I feel with energy and stuff, he's gone. Like literally, I thought like I would feel that his presence is right. He goes like, no, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm going somewhere else and explore this universe. So I feel good. I felt really good for him. I thought I would like be breaking down and crying, but I really felt like he was like happy and on his way to a better life. So that was
Beautiful.
very good for me. So yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, as a Reiki ambassador, what is your hope for Reiki? What do you hope to do in the world here in your part?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of look at it as being, when you look at like say speakers and stuff, Tony Robbins is like obviously the most. I'm not trying to be Tony Robbins, thank you very
Sure.
much. I wish I could, maybe I'm going to try. I mean, I shouldn't say no.
Yeah.
Why not give those thoughts? What I'm finding is that not many people, some people know what Reiki is, but when I do say Reiki, it's like they don't know what it is. And what I want to do is just to develop a campaign or strategy. Like, I mean, if we're saying that, May is a national mental health and awareness, that's one aspect. But let's bring in Reiki and add that to it. And so, what I would like to do is maybe go to some of the news stations, the local news stations in Canada, and really try to promote my thoughts of how to get this Reiki, this shift, because I feel everybody's got this new needing for a new shift of spirituality, but not religious, but just more spiritual awakening, energy. Like a lot of people don't they have their physical body, but they just don't tap into their physical energy. And I think that's important for people to realize. It's hard to do because you can't see it, but you can feel it. So my whole thing is to not only myself, but get other people to help me promote it, do all that stuff. So go to the Facebook group page, Reiki May, and maybe just join in and please participate because it's not just me.
Right, right. I mean, it's nice to have people along this journey to help guide and assist because, and you may find this as well, even I've seen in the last 6 years, there's
Yeah,
so many different systems of Reiki. There's
yeah,
so many ways to teach it. And people may not be sure where to begin with everything and what's the right place to learn, who to trust. I've gotten contacted a couple times from individuals who took a training and then it ended up not being what it was supposed to do. So there seems to be some, and that can be of anything, whether lawyers, doctors, people that are unethical. So you kind of want to have a place for people to land where they can say, okay, this is a trustworthy. So even as an ambassador, like I'm an ambassador, I'm one of the safe people, right? Like that you can come to and I can help guide you in the direction or refer you or,
yeah.
have a list of people or a list of organizations like this is a great one to work with and this is a great resource. And, that's why I bring in, the Reiki Business Collective because Christian Stone, he has his podcast. He's out there helping, supporting. He has the Reiki Business Summit. He's putting all this together and he is a guide to help. And that's how we connected and met through there. So that's an opportunity to network, to grow, to expand our community with individuals and let you know there are good people here that genuinely want to help, and spread what Reiki is. So,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
then social media, we have it on TikTok and all kinds of things. And so it's getting out there a little bit more. And there's still those misconceptions. So when you've connected to people, what are some misconceptions that you hear about Reiki?
Oh, well, it's like woo woo. I mean, I hear this word woo woo all the time. There's a couple people that were skeptical and you know what? I hate to say it, I don't really like giving away things for free.
Mhm.
I don't, but I'm working with a few people on another thing, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But they had Reiki done with their with their partner. Didn't really work very well, but and sometimes that is true. Like if your partner does Reiki on you, sometimes it works. I feel like you need a separate entity or a separate person that
Sure.
does
Kind of
that.
like a doctor, right? They don't want to
Yeah.
operate on their family member.
So I did and there's a couple people that have been very skeptical. And after I do my session, and I have a whole I play music and I have tuning for it. I have a whole series of really cool utensils and things that I use. They kind of come back and they go, that was pretty surreal. Like it was almost like, wow. And that's been quite a few people that have been telling me. I've diagnosed people like with issues without them telling me. I found that really interesting. I don't always expect that. Like, sometimes you're like, oh, I need to read someone, and like, no, it's like it'll come when it comes, if it does.
Mhm.
So I let Reiki just do its thing and go from it. But with that being said, in 2023, I was just like post COVID. I was in a really bad, like I was not happy. I don't know what it was. It wasn't like, anything in my life was really bad, but my mind was not in a happy place, no matter what I did. And it took me about a couple months to try to figure. I went to a therapist and stuff like that, but I also had Reiki. And just shortly after that, I actually became a Reiki practitioner. So I studied it and I used it. And I said, it took me about a year, but I went from like a 2 out of 10 back then. And I said, I need to do something. I'm either going to live this life forever, or I will find the resources to make my life better. After about 8 months with looking through, for therapists and all of this interest, and it's a lot of stuff out there. Like you got to kind of go through the weeds and you go like, what's for me? So
Right.
after I did that, I can honestly say I'm like a constant 8 out of 10.
Beautiful.
If I do slip down, which we all do, I have the tools and resources to kind of tackle them within a day. Like I can just kind of go from a really bad mood and I'm like, nope, get out of it. Reiki will help. So I
Right.
do that. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Beautiful. Now, as you've been out, as you've been connecting and networking with other practitioners and master teachers, and
Yeah.
someone's listening to this, and you're like, okay, I think I'm there. I think I'm ready to explore this.
Yeah.
What are some absolute like red flags in a practitioner or master teacher?
Red flags for like for themselves or for clients
Yeah,
or
for looking for someone to work with. So say like, okay, I found a practitioner here. What are some red flags that like, no, maybe this may not be the person for me?
yeah, I mean, I typically will say for someone who doesn't, there's two different ways of looking at it. Someone who does Reiki a lot and looking for someone, you'll find that connection. I mean, I find that I typically always relate to I always connect with them, and I do figure eights and stuff like that. So I will typically know if their energy matches mine from the get-go. Same thing with the other person. The person should be knowing. If I've heard some really horror stories, to be honest with
Right.
you, and I have heard some horror stories when it comes to people saying, "Oh, this didn't work," and I've heard people online saying, "Oh, I feel worse," or something happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
You will know, I think, pretty much when you can. I would say meet them first. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be it's actually better in person. You'll feel their energy much
Yeah.
better. I always say meet them first, whether that's online. Check out who they are, what they do. Check out the website for sure. If they have reviews, definitely check that out.
Sure.
But yeah, see what they're in. Like I find people that have really beautiful websites, to be honest, actually have taken the time. There's some people that I've seen the websites. I'm like, yeah, it could be better.
Yeah.
But if they take their time and it looks beautiful, and you can typically tell from that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the red flags can be, you'll never know until you do the session, to be honest, sometimes. So
Yeah.
I
And
just
another thing too, with like kind of Google reviews, there are some practitioners that do trade services in trade for a Google review. So kind of take those with a grain of salt sometimes.
Yeah.
And especially practitioners that offer like a 15-minute free consultation, that's a green flag. So do that call, whether it's on Zoom or on the phone. So don't take that Google review too seriously with it, because especially if, these are like fantastic, amazing, a lot of them have other ways that they're getting those.
And
Right.
price point too is an interesting one. Now I try to keep it a little bit not in the low side, but
Sure.
if someone's offering it to you for a very really ridiculous amount,
Yeah.
I'm going to say to everybody, please invest in yourself. I mean, if it's like 60, 80, $100, let me tell you, it's money worth spending. for
And I
sure.
think for people it's really hard, and I get this in the yoga world too, because yoga is offered free, like in gyms and community centers and all these places. And I've had people ask me, and I don't think my prices in yoga are very high for El Paso, Texas. So I'll have people ask like, well, why should I pay you $15 for the hour when I can just go to the community center for free? Well, if this gets you moving, fine,
Yeah,
go there. I mean, who am I to say that? But you're also, the reason for these prices is because of your education, your time. So, as a Reiki practitioner, all this, and you're making an investment,
yeah,
you're getting the training, you're getting the education, you're getting the knowledge, you're putting the work into yourself. And you also have to pay for your things too. You
yeah,
had a space, I had a space, we had to pay for our rent, paying for Zoom, right? I mean, paying for all these other things, the booking system,
yeah,
your phone. And so, yeah, you have to pay for these things too. It's a
yeah.
business. And yeah, you want to be the saint or the sage and, give as much as you can, but you also too are providing a service. But people don't question a hairdresser. They don't
No,
question the nails, right? They
yeah,
don't question the massage. But yet, you go in and you're like, well, can you work with me? Or I can't afford this. And yeah, you can barter, but there needs to be some type of energy exchange. So if you
good.
don't have the money, what can you do?
Yeah,
Right. I mean, I saw someone on the Reiki Business Collective that put like, here's some things I need. I need somebody to help me with my website. Right. I have a friend that trades for her hair getting done. The
yeah,
person's a hairdresser. And so they swap things like that. So think out of the box.
yeah,
Constantly giving free, that's going to drain your energy, right? And especially if you see that person. I've had a situation where I gave somebody a significant discount, and then I found out that they were doing all of these other things and vacations and all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, and
no.
yeah.
Yeah, I also find in Canada too. So, my partner works for an insurance company, and so most insurance companies here they'll pay like 80%. So if you go to a physiotherapist or a chiropractor, they'll usually reimburse you 80%.
Mm,
And interesting little note now is that physiotherapists who do Reiki it actually is starting to become something. Reiki is now starting to become something that is they will reimburse you with,
okay,
which is good. But I'm not a massage therapist, and nor do I want to spend 2 years. But
sure.
it's transitioning to that, which is great. So that's a kind of a hopeful
Yeah,
thing that's starting to change. And
yeah.
and that's the thing is like people go like, well, I can't put it on my my insurance, and I'm like, yeah, I know, but
We'll get
um,
we'll get there.
you'll feel so much better, and they usually do.
Well, beautiful. Now you had mentioned that you're working on something special. Do you want to share that?
Yeah, so there is a company that I actually just found. I don't know how I did, but I because I'm always searching to do things, but I'm helping them with their marketing, if that makes sense, because they're kind of brand new. Really interesting. It's a platform that is. They started off with more products, so health and well-being products. So they're basically selling health and well-being products, but they're also selling services and things like myself, Reiki, and other health and well-being practices. It's called Alt Being, so ALT. I think it's dot being or just altbeing.com. They don't charge you anything to set up, which is great. They'll just charge you a fee every time you use, like, just a small service fee. What I love about that is you can try it out. It's not, most companies, give me like, a couple $100 or something to be a part of this, or a monthly charge. This one's actually a lot better. So I'm not going to do the best thing, but check it out anyways. I mean, I kind of rely on them to sort of sell that on their own terms, but they probably know more better. But I think it's something worthwhile checking out, and I'm going to help them with the marketing side of it as well, which is something I do. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Beautiful. Do you have any advice for those who are considering
To do Reiki.
this world?
Don't give up. That is my biggest. Over the past 6 months, I have been, yes, I will say I have been frustrated. It's not like I'm going to get like 100 clients over this course of time. And that's okay. I have to keep telling myself, put yourself out there. And like, that's what I said, maybe being an ambassador or teaching people what Reiki is will then get them interested in it, will then hopefully get them interested in doing some sessions with me. To me, that feels less salesy,
Mhm.
more informational and educational. And I think that makes people feel a little bit like more comfortable because you're not asking them for anything. You're just asking them for their time. And
Mhm.
I love that because it's effortless. So keep up with it. Do not give up and keep yourself out there. Like it can be, I always say, like, I'm not really great at videos. I'm getting better. I'll just sit there and record myself. I hate I hate talking. You know what I mean? Like you're always like, oh, I screwed that up. I have to do it again.
Right.
But you know what? I find putting videos out there, even if they're little short clips, help people get to know who you are versus just an actual, typing in some information and there you go. Yeah, let people know who you are. Literally interact with them with videos. That's TikTok, all that stuff. That's where you get known and seen. And if you don't, you're kind of like there's a million of us out there, right? But try to find a unique hook of what you do, what you specialize in. Tell a story about yourself. Like I said, the whole thing with my dad, or even myself. I've treated myself. I had a fear of driving. I know why. There's a long story for it, but for about 3 years, I was a great driver, no problems. I then had a fear, and I said to myself yet again, I can't keep doing this like I can't have this fear.
Yeah.
So I did Reiki and meditation for about, I don't know, a couple months. And I can now drive on the highway with zero fear. Like I would be knuckle out. And
Beautiful.
now I'm like, I can drive. And that was due to Reiki. And
Yeah.
it took me a few months. But yeah, Reiki does a beautiful,
Yeah.
powerful thing. Not
Yeah.
just
You're
energy.
consistent and stick with it, right?
Yes, if you do so, yeah, just keep going, just keep pushing, and don't get frustrated. It'll work out.
Right.
Universe tells you. I always find the universe. Sometimes I get frustrated. I'm like, okay, come on, give me something, and then
Yeah.
the next day it's like something happens, and boom, it's like, oh, there it is. So
Beautiful. One of
yeah,
the things I like to do is I pull up the compass feature on my phone and I give it Reiki and I
yeah,
ask the Reiki
yeah,
to just lead me in that a direction for my highest good.
exactly. Or I find even too like writing things on a piece of paper, or
Mhm.
I always find, yeah, writing things on a piece, or like I find when you do something writing something, it's like an actual object instead of
Yeah.
just thinking.
Yeah.
And it's sort of an intent that you put down. And then I don't know what you do. Some people go like they burn it or whatever they may do with it.
Yeah.
Just follow your intuition. But I always find literally it's like controlling your thoughts too. I'm kind of working on that as well with some of my clients.
Yeah.
When there's something that you can't tangibly sense, you have to get your mind to have an analogy, like, a thought is a spot in your head and you can move that around, versus just having it just randomly go all over the place. So I'm also training people to control their thoughts because much like, your finger, I can move my fingers and stuff. You
Yeah.
can't control your thoughts. It takes a bit of time, but it is a very really good thing to kind of calm the mind down for
Beautiful.
sure. Yeah.
So where can we find you if we'd like to get in touch with you?
So first of all, Reiki May on Face group page. Just go to Face groups or Facebook group pages and just type in that. That's one place for the new Reiki May thing. Dal Reiki. So DAL Reiki, all one word, .ca, not .com, because I couldn't get this .com. So .ca is for Canada.
Well, hang on to it. I was originally the Feather Sister because someone had Feather Sister, and I would get these letters in the mail and said, "You can have it for $10,000." And one day, it was time to renew the Feather Sister, and it was available, and I was able to get it. And I think I got it like at a really cheap rate, and so it took a couple years, but I got it. So keep an open mind, keep a lookout on it. So I have both names.
Yeah.
So as we've been talking, is there something you may have forgotten or something you want to share with the listeners that you didn't get an opportunity? The floor is yours.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think I'll be honest, I feel so amazing. A couple months ago, I must admit that I was getting very frustrated. And you always kind of go, is this the right thing? Especially when I do marketing, I have to pay bills, right? So I kind of have to do the marketing side of things, which is still going really well. But I'm transitioning, and the transition is then you kind of go like, I got to do all this work for this, but then I got to spend time to do this.
Mhm.
But when you really focus on, to me, it's not work. I hate. It's not like I'm literally sitting there grinding on a computer. I love it. I
Mhm.
mean, I also love learning. I love astrophysics and astronomy. And one thing that helps me go through, because I love it so much, it inspires me to then wake up and go, just keep doing it. And what I do is I set myself small tasks instead of dreaming big and saying, oh yeah, in a year I've got to be this. No, do a drop of water in a glass will eventually fill up. You don't have to pour. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
every day is one little thing
Sure.
that water will fill up eventually, and you'll notice it. And so for me, it's like, don't give up, just keep going. uh, Days will be frustrating.
Mhm.
uh, you might self-doubt yourself, and I don't know, I can't, I myself have to remind myself all the time when I get a bad week or day or something
Yeah.
like, it's okay. I go, acceptance is the best thing. So
Sure.
I have this
Sure.
feather for acceptance, and it's like, accept that you're frustrated,
Mhm.
accept all the frustrations you have in your life. It's okay. You're fine. Don't
Sure.
worry. Next day will be better. And when I do that, I'm not pushing stuff away and fighting it.
Yeah.
I embrace it. It goes in my body. Okay, fine. This is where it is. It's my chest. And once I do that, it's a simple thing. I just do it, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it's not this bad. So
Okay.
those are these techniques that I'm using for myself, and just to hope, because I know how hard it is out there for a lot of.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why we have our Reiki precepts too, for not worrying, right? Anger. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right before we head off, do you want to tell the listeners what are some of your services and where they can find you again?
Sure. At first, like I said, I don't have my in-house studio, but I am doing a lot of online distant Reiki now, and that can be, you can find that at dalreiki.ca. I'm gonna have to change my website a bit because I think I still have my in-person thing. I got to change that. So I do have that, and like I said, I'm planning a whole bunch of different uh, um, Reiki May for sure, and there'll be some like lessons and things you can be engaged with. But so far, yeah, it's really online. It's really working well. People are more comfortable at home. They can
Absolutely.
lie on their bed.
Yeah.
I'm very, like, I'm super. You know what's funny? When you're super confident about something, people believe you. I'm not saying it's like, but when you go, oh, I do Reiki online and it's a distant thing, and they're like, how the hell does that happen? And I'm like, trust me.
Sure.
And when
Absolutely.
when you trust it and you know it really well, and you go, I'm not even, I don't even think anymore about judging myself and saying, is it going to
Sure.
work? I'm like, it's going to work. Don't worry. It's all good. So, yeah, just, I'm still going and having faith in myself. So I just let
Beautiful.
everybody know that, keep the faith.
You can find you at the Reiki Business Collective too, because you share some things as well, and you participate in that group as well.
And alt being, by the way, too, is that I'm going to be on that as well. So alt being, we're just starting to populate the stores and stuff. So my services will be on there as well.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, Reiki Dave, thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you. I love being back. I love talking to you. It's
All
great.
right. All right, my friends. All
Okay.
right, beautiful listeners. If you want your question featured on Ready Set Reiki, reach out www.readysetreiki.com, or check me out on social media and send me a question, and perhaps it'll be on the podcast. So I'm Tracy Seawright, and this has been Ready Set Reiki.